Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Bhagavad-gītā. So in today's episode, we will be studying the omniscience of God, how He knows everything at all times, at all places, and about everyone. So this is the 7th chapter, verse 26 of the Bhagavad-gītā. So we will just chant the Mangalacharan Prayers and then we will start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhūtale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhūtale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome to this episode of Bhagavad-gītā, the Omniscience of God, Chapter 7, Text 26. We have done this last Sunday, but I was speaking to a crowd which had a lot of new people, and I went on a tangent actually. And explaining many other things as well. So I wanted to do a session on this again. So word to word, veda aham samatītāni vartamānāni ca Arjuna bhaviṣyāṇi ca bhūtāni mam tu veda na kaścana vedāhaṁ samatītāni vartamānāni cārjuna bhaviṣyāṇi ca bhūtāni mam tu veda na kaścana vedāhaṁ samatītāni vartamānāni cārjuna bhaviṣyāṇi ca bhūtāni mam tu veda na kaścana vedāhaṁ samatītāni vartamānāni cārjuna bhaviṣyāṇi ca bhūtāni mam tu veda na kaścana. Veda, know, aham, I, samatītāni, completely past, vartamānāni, present, cha, and, Arjuna, O Arjuna, bhaviṣyāṇi, future, cha, also, bhūtāni, all living entities, mam, me, tu, but, veda, knows, na, not, kaścana, anyone. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Purport. Here, the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya, material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then, like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in the past, present, and future. Now, this is very important. Now, impersonalists, they think that the form of Krishna is made of the material elements, and that is why they are called Mayavadis. Vada means argument or school of thought. Mayavad means school of thought of Maya. That means, although they say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, their understanding is that Brahma, the impersonal, the ultimate truth is impersonal, and when it manifests in this world, it becomes a person. Why does it manifest in this world? They cannot quite explain actually. And so Krishna also, when Krishna is a embodiment of that impersonal thing, so that embodiment, the body, is made up of material elements. So that's how they understand, impersonalists. So here, an important point is there in the purport. Like the living entity, he would, they think that he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. No, they think that his body is material. If that is the case, he would be forgetful. Now, how did that conclusion come? This: anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. So, how did that conclusion come from? Where did that come from? So here, in the 4th chapter, 6th verse, अजोऽपि सन् अव्ययात्मा भूतानाम् ईश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवाम्यात्ममायया. You see, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, avyaya, avyayatma. Atma means body, mind, soul, intelligence also. So, it can be, all these are proper translations for the word Atma. Now, Krishna, there is no difference between his Atma and his body, his mind. So, Avyayatma, he has a body which does not deteriorate. He is called Navayauvanam, Nityanutana. So, Navayauvanam means always, ever youthful. And even when he was in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was 89 years old by so-called material calculations. But he looked like a 16 to 20-year-old youth, never aged beyond that. You never find Krishna with like old body. Of course, if he wants, he can manifest an old body, old like Advaita Acharya. But still, he is always in Avayauvanam. He can come as anyone. He can come as in any form. Even animal body or fish body, what to speak of old or young body. But his nature is Navayauvanam. And that is even our nature. That's why we have a tendency to look youthful or to want to look youthful. We, so many cosmetics, all this work because we want to be youthful. And because our original position is to be youthful always. The soul is ever youthful. Not only is Krishna ever youthful, we are also ever youthful. Our transcendental body also does not deteriorate. But we are now covered with this material body and that deteriorates. So, ajopi san avyayatma bhūtānam ishvaropi san prakritim svam adhisthaya sambhavami atmamaya. So, although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. I am Ishvaraha. I am Ishvara. Sambhavami. So I am the Supreme Lord, Krishna is saying. and my transcendental body never deteriorates. I still appear in my original, in every millennium, in my original transcendental form. So that means he does not change his body. You see that? So that's why here Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, in the previous verse, chapter 4, text 5, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha bahuni me vyatītāni janmani tava cārjuna tānyaham veda sarvāni natvam vetha parantapa. The personality of Godhead said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. So, another very important point here is, even if there are some instances where some people do remember their past life, right? At least their one past life, if not many, all the past lives. You see, but Krishna is saying, many, many births both you and I have passed, but I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. But at least to some extent they remember sometimes one past life. But even that, they only remember their own past life. They can't remember everybody else's past life. No, they don't even know their present life or past life. We can only know a little bit of our present life. We can remember something in our past of this present life. And we cannot tell our past life. And those rare people who do remember something, they only remember one past life, and that too some things, and only about their own past life. But here he is saying, I can remember all of them, both your and my past life. That's why Krishna could say, you were also there. Like even, okay, for example, there are many instances where people do remember their past life, right? So they remember the past life and they remember all those people in their past life sometimes. And they remember their names. But what happened to them in their next life? They don't know. So now where they are, they do not know. You see, even though there is some, past life knowledge sometimes by Krishna's grace, it's not complete. Whereas vedāhaṁ samatītāni, if you see the word samatītāni, completely past. And when we say complete, not just my own past lives completely, but everybody's past life completely. And every single universe that ever existed, all into the infinite past, completely. This material world has been existing from infinite time, and he knows everything, all the infinite past. And therefore Vedic literature will always keep increasing, but we are only, like you see this Bhagavatam, for example, Srimad Bhagavatam, that if you see, there is only one instance, or maybe one instance, where incident from a previous day of Brahma, not even the previous life, previous day of Brahma was described in the case of Narad Muni. Otherwise, everything is the description of this day of Brahma. So that much the Bhagavatam is limited in its volume of description. Otherwise, there is no end. There is no end how much you can write. That's why Anantasesh is going on glorifying the Lord, but you see, he's just with his thousands of faces, thousands of sahasranana, he is glorifying Krishna for eternity, yet he cannot complete. There is no end to his pastimes. So there are some questions I see. So, okay, you have some questions. So, I suggest that you listen to the subject today as under discussion. So, the way we conduct our classes is that we choose a verse. When it is Bhagavad-gītā class, when it is Bhagavatam class or Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we are speaking from a scripture, so we will actually, the way I do is I go from next verse. So, Bhagavad-gītā, there are 700 verses. So, every session we will discuss one verse, one shloka, and we will study it in depth. So every class is a new shloka. So that's how we study. And then the questions based on that subject is what we entertain in that class. So if you have questions that are not related to the subject under discussion, then you can ask in our AM sessions. Ask Me Anything Mondays. Ask Me Anything Mondays, AM. So we have that every alternate Mondays, and in that you can ask just anything you want, and we will show you answers from the Vedic scriptures. So that's how these classes are conducted. Well, why Krishna sent us to earth? I know there's a reason of what Krishna do, but I want to know. Okay, so this is partly related to the subject, but I suggest you hear the whole class out and then we will try to answer your question. Okay. So Krishna knows Arjuna's past and his past and all their past. So this is the difference between God and us. We cannot know. Now with big data, they are trying to know. Now you see Facebook and Google, they are trying to track our data, our movements in the internet, like what sites we browse, what did we do, what are we doing with our devices, and then what are we talking, what are we browsing, what are we watching, what apps are we using, which places did we go to. So our interests, our friends, what are their interests. So there is an attempt to become omniscient through this technology. So they want to be like this Paramatma. So, but they're far inferior to what they don't even understand the extent of knowledge that the Paramatma has about everyone. These social media, they have no idea of past life and nothing. There's absolutely very little knowledge that they have about us. But this big data is not a new thing. We think we are very advancing, we are like really in the cutting edge of technology. But actually, Krishna has all these technologies built in already in him. So this big data he has of everyone, for all time, for all places. That's why he says, bhaviṣyāṇi ca bhūtāni. Bhūtāni means all living entities, and they are past and present and future. I already know everything. So this is, I actually want to show you this. I have a small prop today. Okay, you see this. I always like to show this. Not always, but whenever there's an opportunity. So this is a hourglass, sand clock. So this is future, this is past, and this is present. Present is so, every second is present and then it's gone. It's just very narrow. The present is just one moment, one fraction of a moment, and that is present. That's why you see that just a small thing, that is present, and this is past, and this is future. And there is a finite amount of sand here, sand or the purple color sand, whatever. So there is finite amount of. So this is finite only because the amount of time we have in this body is finite. But actually, in the grand scheme of things, the past is infinite and the future is infinite, and the present is only very every moment it's present and it's gone. It goes into the past. So in that way, there is a scarcity. Now when we celebrate birthdays, what we are celebrating is how much sand is going into this part of the container of this device, this past. Oh, I have this much. But we do not know how much. Now here we can see how much is left to come. So this is an hourglass. This is actually last 1 hour. This thing. So we know. But in our case, we do not know how much sand is in this container here. So we do not know our future even of this present body. Whereas Krishna knows everything. So omniscience means not just to know everything at this point and past, but also future. Like you see, we know a little bit about our future. Forecasting. This forecasting is nothing but future. Weather forecasting, this financial forecasting, and then there is weather mapping. So, for example, even what is this called? Seismic forecasting. Seismic means when the earthquake is going to come, like what is happening on the Earth's surface. So, this kind of forecasting, and when we can expect there will be a volcano at this place, or how the tectonic plates are shifting, or whatever it is. So sometimes there can be some forecasting that can be done, and some of the things without much intuition. I mean, without much instruments or big technology, we can already forecast. For example, now in Singapore it is 8 o'clock p.m. So in another 10 hours, 11 hours, there will be sunrise here. Oh, how do you know? Everybody knows. So it doesn't take much genius to do that. So we know a little bit about the future. We know for sure it will happen. But how do we know? We don't have any control of the sun. But we have seen that there is a pattern, and we recognize patterns. But Krishna does not just recognize patterns, he is the creator of those patterns. So his programming of the universe, he is the one who built the program on which the universe runs. So he knows in and out of everything that will happen, of course, in the future. So that's how we have to understand that he is only when you are an absolute controller, then you can know this kind of level of knowledge. And so samatītāni means past, vartamānāni means present, bhaviṣyāṇi means future, bhūtāni means living entities. Here you can see. Now bhūtāni means few things actually. Living entities comes under, one of the definitions of bhūtāni. Bhūtāni also means the material manifestation, because panchabhuta, panchamahabhuta means what? Bhumi, Apa, Analok, Vayur, Kham, earth, water, fire, air and ether, the 5 gross elements. And then there are 3 subtle elements, Sukshma Bhuta. So that is Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar, mind, intelligence and false ego. So these are the ingredients of material world. So Adhibhutam means this material manifestation. Actually there is this in the last verse of this chapter also. You see, Sadhibhutadhidaivam mam sadhiyajñam cha ye viduhu prayanakale pichamam te viduryukta chetasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, of the demigods, and of the methods of sacrifice, of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So, in today's verse he said, nobody can know me, no one knows. But here, you can understand and know me. How? Those who are in full consciousness of me, who know me. You see, the Supreme Lord to be the governing principle. So what is this governing principle? Sa adhibhuta. We are trying to understand the word bhūtāni. So adhibhuta, and the governing principle of the material manifestation. Adhidaivam, governing all the demigods. Adhiyajñam, governing all sacrifices. So in the next verse, 8.1, 8th chapter, 1st verse, Arjuna asks, Arjuna uvacha, Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama, adhibhutam cha kim proktam, adhidaivam kim uchyate. What is adhyatma? What is karma? What is adhibhutam? What is adhidaivam? So these are the very important questions, because these are the causes, immediate causes of action, or immediate causes of consequences or effects. So Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? Fruitive activities means every act is a seed. And when you sow the seed, eventually it will grow, and then the tree will become big, and then there will be fruits. And when the fruit is ripe, then one can taste the fruit. So fruitive activities means when we do an activity expecting a result, and we like a farmer, he sows the seeds and he expects a harvest, and he works towards that harvest. So that is fruitive activity. So similarly, not only in farmer, but every single of our activity, we want a result. So that result, we want to enjoy. So that fruit, I want to enjoy a sweet mango, so I will sow a mango seed today. But after a few years, I will have the mango fruit ripe and I can enjoy. So there is a time lapse between sowing the seed and being able to taste the fruit, ripened fruit. So fruitive activities means this karmic activities in this material world, whether sinful or pious, punya karya or papa karya, each have a fruit. So by each activity, by each word, by each word that we are speaking, by each thought that we are having, we are actually sowing seeds of karma every single moment. It seems, I think there is some statistics, we have some, how many? Some thousands of thoughts in one single day. I think some 100,000 or 125,000 thoughts every single day. Some statistics, I don't know how far it's true, but that, I mean, they have kind of some study they have done. So if that many thoughts and especially actions in this life, for in Kali Yuga there is some concession. If I think something wrong, I am not punished for that yet until I do it. But in other yugas, even if we think wrong, we are already punished for that thought. That is how much we must be focused in our thinking. So in Kali Yuga there is some concession, because Krishna knows that we are mandamata, completely dull-headed and very, very disturbed and not even focused, we don't have any strength of character, nothing. So he has given some concession, and that is there in the, I keep forgetting the number of that shloka. If somebody can help me with that in the comment section, that will be helpful. Those devotees who know this. So anyway, so this, I think it's in the Bhagavatam, 118 somewhere, 187 is it? 187, no, 118.7, something like that. Let me just give it a quick try. If you can't get it, then we'll just go forward until somebody else finds it. No, it's not this. So every single thought, every single word and every single action is a seed, and fruits will come out. So for that, those fruits may come out now or after many years, after in the next life or in the next life or many lives after. I'll give an example how long is this lapse between the seed and the fruit. 118.47, is that so? Not sure, Satyam Chaudhary. What is this? Not sure. $47. No, that's not the one. Okay, so 118.7. I just went to 118.7. One second, let me just go there again. 118.7. Oh yeah, this was the one. I came to this first. Okay, anyway, you see here, Nanu dveshtikalim samrat saranga iva sarabhuk kushalanyashu siddhyanti netarani kritani yat. So kushalanyashu siddhyanti netarani kritani yat. So Maharaj Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. So as long as we do not do it, we are not punished. But the danger is, if I am thinking of something nonsense, I may say, oh okay, I will not be punished for this. But it is only a matter of time before it becomes words and before it becomes action. So there is thinking, feeling and willing. If it comes to the willing portion, so thinking means I think about it. Feeling means I feel strongly about it and I may even vocalize it, I may talk about it. And then when I actually do it, that is willing. I'm using my willpower to actually do the thing which I'm thinking. So when I do something, so it does not happen out of the blue. It happens with intention. So those intentions we have to curb those. So the reason why it is said that in Kali Yuga you must actually do to render effects, so that there is a runway before which the thought takes off to become an action. So in that runway we can actually stop it with Krishna consciousness. And if we become strongly Krishna conscious, we won't even get these useless thoughts. So either case, what I'm trying to say is, let me show you this verse. Aprarabdha palam papam. These are not, I'm just not saying out of my head. You see, these are actually verses, shlokas in our Shastra. Very nicely it's mentioned. This fruitive activity is, you see, Padma Puran. Aprarabdha phalam papam. Actually, this is not a very good translation there. Aprarabdha phalam papam kūtam bijam phalonmukam krameṇaiva praliyeta Vishnu bhaktiratatmanam. You see, there are different stages of dormant reactions to sinful activities to be observed in a sinful life. Sinful reactions may be just waiting to take effect, phalonmukha, just becoming the ripened fruit. That means, suppose my so-called Shanidasha is coming. That means many of my previous activities, fruits, sinful activities, fruits, I will, the fruit is being ripened. So I'm about to face the reactions, or Rahu Kalam, or something like this, all this. That is sinful. Otherwise, it's pious. Some pious activities which I have done, I'm experiencing the results of those pious activities, because of which I have some comfortable life, or comfortable situations, or pleasurable situations. So these are because of our previous pious activities. So there are different stages of dormant reactions. So people think that karma means instant karma. They say instant karma. I did something and then I immediately got it. So, but if it doesn't come immediately, we think that it's not working. The karma is not working. No. So different seeds have different fructifying timings, right? So for sandalwood trees, for example, you can sow a seed today, and 100 years later it will become a big sandalwood tree, and then you can actually take wood from it. It is basically an investment for next generation to be comfortable with that, next or few generations later. So, and some take months, some take a few years, like that. So each of our activities, now how long, we can't say. That is Krishna. How karma acts, this law of karma, and how each timing is, this is not revealed to us so much. Maybe the demigods know, Yamaraj of course knows everything fully. So we are just made known the principle that there is a seed of activity and there will be the fruit. That's when we will experience the effect. And even in the Bible it is said, as you sow, so shall you reap. As you sow, so shall you reap. So as you sow the seeds, so shall, if I sow a mango seed, I will get a mango fruit. I can't get a apple fruit. People want happy new year, happy birthday, happy this festival, that festival. They want happy, everything happy. Nobody wishes that sad Deepavali or sad New Year. No, nobody. Even though the years may turn out to be very horrible, like 2020, everybody said Happy New Year, it was the worst. 2021, I think even worse. So we always want happiness, but we are sowing the seeds of sins, but we want the fruit of piety. How is that possible? If I sow a mango seed and hope for apples to come, okay, another 2 years apples will come, mango is coming, what is going on? So of course mangoes, what can I expect? I sow the mango seeds, what can I expect then? A mango tree is growing, I can expect apple fruit. It's foolish. So people just wish, I wish you a happy new year. Why wishing? It's like stupid idiot, when he's sowing a mango seed and wishing for an apple fruit. This is stupidity. So we cannot just wish for good things to happen. No. We have to act for it. We have to do good. And what is good? In a country, what is good? To obey the law is good, right? To not obey the law is bad. We will be punished for that. Similarly, whatever Krishna says, we have to do. Krishna says, what does he say? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. You surrender to me and give up all these other, dharma, this dharma, that dharma. Some people think of family dharma, some people think country dharma, some people think some humanitarian dharma. Everybody has, different, manufactured some different duties, different set of ideologies in life. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya. Leave aside everything and surrender unto me. With that, what happens? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Sarva papebhyo. Whatever is in this, you see here, kramenaiva praliyeta vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. See, this verse actually explains that very nicely. There are different stages of dormant reactions to sinful activities to be observed in a sinful life. Sinful reactions may be just waiting to take effect, phalonmukha. Reactions may still further be dormant, kuta, or reactions may be in a seed-like state, bija. In any case, all types of sinful reactions are vanquished one after another if a person engages in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. Now, one may think, I should not do pap, I should do punya. But even punya is bad because you will get a good birth in a good family. But that is not good enough because birth itself is painful, death will be again painful, disease will be painful, old age will be painful, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. So these things we cannot escape even if you are punya or papa. So whether punya or papa, we have to take birth in this material world to experience the results, the fruits. So that is bad. We should not take birth again. So we should, good and bad, so-called good, actually all are bad. What is good? So even the so-called, pious activities ultimately keep us in this material world. Material world means this is a jail, this is a prison. In prison you don't have any freedom of movement. So we also don't have freedom of movement. We are trapped in this body and we are governed by the limitations of this body. If I am trapped in the body of a dog, I can only bark. And have sex and eat everything and anything, even to the point of stool. I can do these things. I can't chant Hare Krishna, I can't chant Bhagavad-gītā shlokas, I cannot understand and sit down like you all are sitting in this Bhagavad-gītā class. That is a prerogative of human life. So we are conditioned and limited by our bodies. In a bird's body, the bird can fly. We can't. Our movement is restricted. So not only physically restricted but also mentally, how much we can think, our intelligence, our capacity is all limited by the bodies that we have. So we are trapped here. And if I am going to next birth again another body, material body, I will be again trapped with a certain set of conditions. That is why this is called conditioned life. We are in conditioned life now. We are existing in a certain set of conditions. Freedom of movement, like Narada Muni, he can go anywhere. There is no restriction. He can fly, he can go to one planet to another like as if it's nothing. Without a spaceship, nothing. And these are possible. Great yogis, they can do this. Devotees. So, Kūtam bijam phalonmukam kramena eva praliyeta vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other dharma and surrender to me, Krishna says. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Everything, all the pap and punya, everything that you have, I will burn it. And you will come back directly to me, Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha is a planet, not one planet, many millions and billions of Vaikuntha planets are there in the spiritual sky, which is way beyond this material universe. And there is no creation and destruction. They are eternal and we live eternal life with Krishna there. So that is where we actually belong. That is our real home. We have come away from that. Just like a prisoner who is in the prison, that is not his real home. His real home is outside, in the free society. But he has done something stupid and then now he is in the prison. So similarly, we have also done something stupid. What is that? Instead of being a willing, cooperative servant of Krishna and enjoying with him in that way, in Vaikuntha, in the eternal world, we have chosen, because we have independence. Now the question one of them asked, why did Krishna send us to earth? So the reason why a criminal is sent to prison is because he has committed a crime. So we are sent here because we committed a crime, and we are here, we are to rectify our criminal mentality. What was our crime? Our crime is that we have inappropriately thought that we are the Lord. Instead of being a willing cooperator with Krishna, we have become a competitor of Krishna. We want to be the Lord. You may ask, when did I commit that crime? I don't remember. Yeah, precisely, you don't remember. We don't remember because we changed bodies. We have changed so many bodies. Of course we don't remember what we have done. But Krishna remembers. And we are here against God. We want to be the overlord. Everybody wants to control in this material world. Either their family or their personal situation or their company or their country or their full world, financial world, whatever. They want to be controllers in this material world. And that is the innate envy that we have for the Lord. We wanted to compete with Him. We want to become the overlord of everything. So at the slightest opportunity, we want to dominate. And it is even glorified. In a competitive society, this competitiveness is glorified. Competitiveness, business is good for business, it's good for... In this way they glorify. Actually, it's nothing but a tendency to overlord. So in spiritual life, it's just the opposite. There is some competition in spiritual life, but it's a very, very healthy competition. So in spiritual life, it's opposite of material competition. One becomes humble. Like in the school, what are we taught? You have to be top, you have to be this, you have to be that. So that means you have to dominate. You have to dominate against others. So in this way, we are only taught to dominate. But we can't. In the end, mrityu sarvaharascha. All our achievements, all our everything. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravriddho. So this in the form of time, in the form of death, Krishna comes and takes away everything away from us. He is the one who ultimately dominates. He is the predominator, we are the predominated. However much we may dominate for a while, when the time comes, Krishna shows who is the real boss. He is the boss. Mrityu sarvaharascha. I will come as death and take away everything from you. At that time you can, while you are alive, you can shout, I am God, there is no God, God is dead, and you can so tell whatever there is, whatever you want. But at the time of death, I will show who is the boss. So there is a nice meme, in the social media. 2012, Stephen Hawking says, there is no God. 2019, God says, there is no Stephen Hawking. Finish. Who's the boss? God is the boss. I may say, hey, where is God? Where is God? Okay, I cannot see Him. That does not mean He is not there. I should see by the symptoms. How everything is running. Is there no intelligence behind all this? Is there no artistry behind all this? Whatever artist there is in this material world, he tries to imitate the real art of the Lord. Like a painting of a scenery. Where did he get that from? Where is that scenery from? It's from the creation of the Lord. Who is the original artist? He is copying the original artist, plagiarizing it. And very hopeless plagiarization, that too. The real scenery has fragrance, there is a smell, like nice flowers or something, and then nice waterfall sounds, like some mountain, beautiful vision. Here, he can only replicate in a visual format, but where is the audio? Where is that nice soothing sound, the water falling, the creek, or whatever, or some birds chirping, and all this? Where is that experience? So, Krishna's artistry is an all-round artistry for all senses. So we can't imitate him. And scientists are saying, we have created test tube babies. We are God now. Right? The womb of the mother was already created by the Lord. Perfect test tube for the baby. Perfect this thing. Already created. You have just imitated that again. And you are claiming all credit. What nonsense is this? The scientists to date, they cannot even produce 1 grain of rice in their laboratory. And they are saying, they are the biggest, and there is no intelligence. They can't even produce and somebody already produced, and they say, this is all evolution, this is all chance, this is all, some accidental, some birth, something. Over millions of years, some things changed. It's easy for them to say like that, because you can't show a million of years, no? Because you may ask, why rice is always giving birth to rice again, rice seeds, why it is not evolving into something else? No, over millions of years. Oh, okay. I'll only live for 60 years, 70 years, so okay, maybe million years, okay, I will accept. So people accept like this, because over millions of years ago there was rice, today also there is rice. Millions of years ago there is monkey, and today also there is monkey. Millions of years ago there were humans, now also there are humans. This is the reality. Man did not start from 10,000 years ago, 400,000 years ago, whatever it is. Ramchandra Bhagwan, millions of years ago. We have science, far advanced science, billions of years ago already. So we can't deny all these things. So he is the complete knower of everything. Only because we don't know him, we think he is not there. But if we have little intelligence, if we see, if a painting of a flower requires a wonderful artist with a very good sense of color and texture and or lighting and everything, a good sense of all these things, and when he draws it and it looks so realistic. What is realistic? That means it looks like the real art, which is Krishna's. The real flower. He only imitated that. He only copied that. So, if this painting of a flower has a good artist and you appreciate him, why don't people appreciate the real artist who has created the real flower? Is there no artist? Just because I don't see the artist? No. I did not see somebody coming and painting the flower, but I saw the artist actually painting the flower. Yeah, Krishna can paint in different ways. He does not need a paintbrush. He will take the colors from the earth. Where is the flower color coming from? From the earth, water. So, and Krishna can do magic with that. We take earth, we take water, we take air and sunlight. Can we produce that kind of color? We can't. And the color that the artist is using to color his flower on the paint canvas, where did he get that color from? From materials created by God and given by God again. So, let's be a little bit intelligent. Let's not be like foolish idiots and thinking that there is no God. And those who say like this, you have to defeat them. What intelligence do you have to say like this? You don't have common sense. So that's what we should tell them. So anyway, if I sow one kind of seed, I will get that fruit. If I sow another kind of seed, I will get another fruit. So similarly, there are so many activities, punya and papa, that means pious and impious, and transcendental to piety and impiety, which is bhakti. Bhakti activities are not just punya karya. They are transcendental. They don't produce any effect on the material platform. They are not just ordinary pious activities. They are transcendental activities. So if we want to know a little bit about past, present and future, pattern recognition, if we want to know a little bit, we have to understand the law of karma. You see, because let me show you this. Kunti Devi is saying, see how by knowing law of karma we can know past, present and future. Just like a good example is a criminal. A criminal, say, does some bank robbery. Now, if you see in the constitution, suppose there is an article saying that bank robbery of this much amount, you get this much sentence, this many years, and this much, and this punishment, and this much amount, this much punishment, like that. So if you can see how much amount he stolen, and then you see the constitution law, then you will know, you can predict his future. Okay, he is going to be in jail for say 20 years. So you can predict some future because you know the law, how it's going to act, what is the reaction for this action, and so you will know the future by knowing the information of the present. Now, if you see a person in a jail, or you go to the court, you just enter the court room, and at a time when the judge is saying 20 years for you, and that's the time you enter the court. What happened? So now you have to think back the past. So of course you can trace the documents and find out. Otherwise, just by you can make a guess. You can make a guess for 20 years. Oh, he has done some this thing, some crime which is worth, which is maybe medium severity. Maybe if it is too severe, then maybe lifetime imprisonment or death penalty, like in some countries. So either way, right? So you know the severity of a crime, you can expect, and by the specific punishments that he goes through, because specific punishments are meant to rectify that particular wrong that he has done. So in Yamaraj also, he will mete out punishments according to the sinful activity done. And in the Garuda Puran and in the Bhagavatam also, 5th canto, 26th chapter, there is a description of what sin you do and what you will get in the hell. And it does not finish with hell. Not that I have done this and I have suffered in hell and that's it, equalized. No. We have to, after going through hell for many thousands and millions of years, depending on how sinful we were, we have to start taking birth in animal bodies. One by one, we have to 8.4 million species are there, and 400,000, 0.4 million are human species, and 8 million of them are animal species or subhuman species, animals, insects, plants, reptiles, fish and everything. 8 million of them. So in each species we have to spend time. So those species who are now in the animals, somewhere, why are they suffering there? Why, they are suffering? Because now they are facing the ripened fruit of an action which they committed in a human life many millions of years ago. Many millions of years ago, what they have done in a human form of life, now they are experiencing still, until they come back to human life. Even then it is not completely complete. And so even in our human life we have gone through all the animal species, now we have come. Here also we have still happiness and distresses. That means and in animal life, whatever the animal does is not judged. Like if a tiger comes and kills a deer, the tiger is not getting any karmic reaction for killing the deer. No. Because they don't have the intelligence to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. They survive on instinct. That's how they are not judged. Only a human being is judged. So all the reactions that we are facing, happiness, distress, is because of actions we have done in a previous human life, and that may be many millions of years ago even. Because if 8 million species are there, and if I spend even 1 year in each species, of course some species last very less, but some species last very, very long, like trees, they can stand for thousands of years. But even for average, you take 1 year in each species. 8 million species, 8 million years, after which we can get in human life again. So human life, hell for I don't know how many years, how many thousands of years. I'll give you one example. For people who eat cow, for example, beef. For every cow or beef piece eaten, the cow from which it was taken, the number of hairs the cow has on its body, if there is one hair on the cow's body, then 1,000 years I have to be in hell. If one hair. And how many thousands of hairs are on the body of the cow? That many thousands of years. If there are 5 hairs on the body of a cow, 5,000 years I have to be in hell. And specific punishments. Only for eating one beef dinner or something. Imagine how many times one is eating, how many things, and doing what not. So that much amount of time spent in hell. If there are 5,000 hairs on the body of a cow, then 5 million years in hell. Because 5,000 times 1,000. So there are not 5,000, there are way many more, right? So that many millions of years in the hell itself. One beef piece. How many we have done? How many we are doing in our life? That is just one sin. How many sins? When it will end? So after the hell, again 8 million species before we can come to human. And human, not every human is a civilized human, like aborigines, and they're almost like animals. Almost like animals. Their mentality, their understanding of life, their philosophical, quotient, very low. Very, very low. So these kind of hunter-gatherer, kind of people, they're almost like animals. So to come to civilized life, where you can actually think, where you can actually act on superior knowledge, and you can understand, and even for those civilized people to have access to this exalted scripture, exalted knowledge like Bhagavad-gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, the word of God directly. We are reading, these words are directly spoken by God. Bhagavad-gītā means a song of God. Krishna personally spoke. To have access to this level of knowledge, how rare it is, just try to understand. So after millions of years we have gotten this opportunity to hear. So we have to treasure it and act on it and quickly perfect our life, because if we don't, then we have to go down this path again. How many millions of years you want to suffer? So Bhagavad-gītā is here, Krishna is here speaking all these things only to save us from all the trouble. So if we know, so Krishna is giving us some hint, like astrology is a hint of what to come in the future, like what may happen, right? If it is practiced properly, if it is learned properly. There are many quack astrologers, we are not talking about that, but astrology itself is a very accurate science, so accurate that even God can be identified with astrology. There are symptoms when a boy is born, like for example, Kṛṣṇa, when Krishna was born, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, there were symptoms on the body of the child. Just by looking at those symptoms on the body of the child, they could say that this is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are 32 symptoms that exist on the body of a baby, and if one is expert in noticing all these things, he knows immediately what is the exalted nature of this, or what nature is this boy or a child. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Guru's Guru, our Guru is Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So His Divine Grace Prabhupada's Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was born, he also had all the 32 symptoms of a Mahapurusha that exist in the Supreme Lord. So this happens either in the Supreme Lord or in an exalted representative of the Supreme Lord. So just by looking at those symptoms, one can know. This is a great science. It's not just some superstition and all like that. It is a science. It is a language that Krishna gives us to understand. So by seeing that, we can know his past. Like there is an incident I mentioned the other day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, but he is a Bhaktavataram. He came 535 years ago as a devotee of Krishna. Although he is Krishna himself, to teach us how to become devotee, he came as a devotee of Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, in the devotional mood of Srimati Radharani. So in one of his Leela, he met one astrologer. So he said casually, he asked in a playful mood, "Oh, you are an astrologer. What am I in my past life? What was I?" Then he saw all the calculations and he was stunned. What, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You are Sakshat Narayan. Immediately he said, "How did you know?" Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to deny, because every time he is exposed. See, devotees, because the astrologer also was a devotee, so Vaishnav. So, the devotees, Krishna cannot hide from them. He tries to hide. Like he said today's verse, "Me no one knows. Name veda kaścana." Me no one knows. But devotees will know. Okay, I'll come back to this verse. See, here it is said by Yamunacharya, great Acharya, the Guru of Ramanujacharya in the Shri Sampradaya. So So he said like this in his book called Stotra Ratna, Mantra 12. He said, Ullanghita trividha sīma samātishayi sambhavanam tava parivradhima svabhavam maya balena bhavatapi niguhyamanam pashyanti kechidanisham tvadananya bhavaham. O my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space and thought. Your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless your unalloyed devotees are able to see you under all circumstances. Not only are they able to see you, they will expose you to the whole world. So the devotees, they can know. So he immediately found out that he is Narayan. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to, no, you are just joking, you don't even know, you don't know your work properly. So he was humble and he did not want to show himself as Narayan. But you see, he could know immediately his past. This knowing of past, present and future, we can know a little bit by just astrology. Now, but even then, what are we going to do about it? Okay, I know my future, okay, some Sani Dasha is coming, Rahu Dasha is coming, and some people will, give some atonement, some pariharam, or prayaschittam, some sin I have done, so some prayaschittam, some atonement, so that I can, this effect can reduce or nullify. But that's not the way. Kramena eva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. By Vishnu bhakti, we can completely eradicate all reactions. Completely. And another huge tool. Now, even astrology we cannot understand if we do not understand the law of karma. Karma, like this verse I was just showing, Janmaishvarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madah Puman Naivarhatya Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. My Lord, this is Kunti Devi saying, your Lordship, she is talking to Krishna, your Lordship can easily be approached but only by those who are materially exhausted. What is materially exhausted? That means they have no material interests. They are exhausted of all material desires. There are no material desires left. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Of course, cannot approach him with sincere feeling because they are intoxicated by such thing. But what is this? Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir. This word, this phrase here, first line. What are these? Janma means birth, Aishwarya means opulence, Shruta means education, and Shribhir means beauty. These are the symptoms of a previous pious life. So if somebody has these things, bodily beauty, great intelligence, very great opulence, rich, very surrounded by riches, and Janma, aristocratic birth in a good family, cultured family, or a great nation, that means he has done some pious activity in the past which has given him this result. So by looking at one's present life, by his position in life, by these four things, also what is his mental state? When he speaks, then we can understand his mental state. So we can understand what flavor of pap or punya is affecting his mind. The three modes. We have to understand the law of karma and the three guna, the goodness, passion, ignorance, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic qualities, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun. So when we understand these things, then we know the pattern recognition, how to recognize these patterns, what are the basis of these patterns. So the three modes of material nature, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun, and they happen because of previous association with such guna. Karanam gunasangosya sadasad yoni janma. So if I have, suppose in this life, so let's not talk about previous life, in this life, if I have associated excessively with drunkards, then one day I will also become drunkard. So as according to my association, I will imbibe those qualities. If I am surrounded by studious people, like in my case, in my childhood and teenage years, my friend circle were all nerds. Like we used to play a bit, yes, we would have some fun, but we were in very much my friend circle were all very studious, very driven by excellence in academic education. So I was always surrounded by such people. So I have a sense, so I will carry that my whole life. So I value that, those qualities. So whom we associate, if I would have spent time with different set of people, I would have imbibed those qualities. I can today see how much that association has molded my thinking and life in a certain way. So everybody has that, and we can actually change that mold as well. By associating with devotees, we will get that. Actually, there is this nice verse. Okay, you see this verse, this is from Haribhakti Sudhodaya, 8th chapter 51. This is a book called Haribhakti Sudhodaya. There's a nice verse here. Yasya yat sangati pumso manivatsat satad gunaham svakulardhyaita todhiman svayuthanyeva samshrayet. As the qualities of a nearby object are reflected in a crystal, one similarly takes on the qualities of a person with whom he associates. Now this wall behind me, what color is it? It's actually white. But if I do this, you see, I can do that. The color is changing because of light behind it. So, crystal, even this, actually this light is white here in front. I wouldn't want to change that. But if it is some other color, then if the yellow light is shining, then the crystal, if there's a crystal, it will reflect yellow light. If I put an object beside the crystal, even if it's not light, it's just an object, red color, pink color, blue color, the crystal also appears that color, right? So we are like the crystal. So whoever we associate with, if we associate with blue, we will also turn blue. If we associate then with pink, then we also turn pink. So this is how we acquire the qualities of the proximity. That's why there is this saying that you are the average of your 5 best friends. In English there is a saying like that. So that means according to your association, you develop those qualities. If I want to know who you are, show me your 5 friends, 5 best friends and the 5 books you read, I'll tell you who you are. So they say like that. So why? Because that is your association. It may not just come from the people. Association is also from the books, from the movies, from the audio that you watch, everything. That is association. With our senses, what we are associating with, we acquire those qualities. So these are 3 modes. So in Bhagavad-gītā, all these things are explicitly described. So we can have a very good understanding of what past, present or future. So if, for example, what is the advantage of such knowledge? Okay, before we go to what advantage, okay, let's talk about the advantage. What is the advantage of such knowledge? Now, a calamity, for example, I'll give you a practical example. Suppose there is an earthquake, and then there is this welfare organization called the Red Cross, and then they will go and do all the disaster relief operations, right? So that's considered a good activity, humanitarian activity, right? But what if there was a welfare organization which could have prevented the earthquake? Now you may say, hey, come on, this is beyond our control the earthquake. How can you control, this is the earth, No, it's not that out of control actually. Because these situations, adhyatmik, adhibhautik, adhidaivik miseries that come upon us are only coming because of our actions. So, what I'm trying to say, in 2008, there was an earthquake in China, Sichuan earthquake, and that is a very, very devastating earthquake, and a lot of lives lost, everything. But if you see, Sichuan is a place well known for its culinary expertise. So many dishes that the Chinese people eat, famous dishes, culinary dishes are from Sichuan. And in China, what kind of food they eat? All meat, all kinds of cockroaches or snakes or whatever, everything they eat. So if this kind of sin is going on in that place, then it's built up and comes as an earthquake. So there, like this, if you can trace back, if you know what is karma, so you don't have to wait until the fruit ripens, because then we understand how karma works. Oh, there is a seed sown and then there will be a fruit. So people only realize this. Red Cross only realizes that something has happened after it has happened, after the fruit has ripened and fall to the ground, and that's when all the damage control. That's all. It could not have been prevented, because the seed, when it was growing as a sapling and all that, the karmic reaction I'm talking about, they have no idea that is coming. They have no idea. Whereas with this knowledge, you can be better equipped. So if somebody is doing something wrong, instead of waiting things to blow up, you can solve problems when they show up. So there's a nice quote like this: address the issue when it shows up, and don't wait until it blows up. So when some, I'll give you a good example. Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna, Abhimanyu's son. Okay, Parikshit Maharaj was a very, very exalted ruler, great devotee, very powerful ruler. So what happened? He saw one black, dark colored man. He was going to torture a cow. So what he did? Immediately he took out his sword to punish him. He did not wait. Oh, let it go on and see. Don't do it. Wait for the reaction. No. Immediately take out. Prevent that from happening, because that is a sin. That is a seed of sin you're going to do, and you will suffer for that. And if you do that, I will immediately kill you. Immediately the person got, he's actually Kali personified, Kali Yuga personified. He stopped it. So that is good for even the person who was trying to kill the cow. So when it shows up, address it. Don't wait until it blows up out of control. So this is preventive welfare. But nobody understands this. Nobody gives value to this, because nobody knows the past, present and future of everything. We cannot know certainly like Krishna what is past, present and future, everything. But Krishna gives us knowledge of this law of karma. He gives us knowledge of the three modes of material nature, and he gives us this whole science of association and how it leads to cause and effect, and that is all in the Bhagavad-gītā. So if we understand this science, we will know why things are happening the way they are happening. For example, I'll give you, this is a very controversial example, but I've said this many times. Suppose a woman is raped and she dies because of that. Like there was a gang rape in India about 10 years ago, Nirbhar case, right? So a woman was gang raped by this group of men and she died. And there was this huge uproar in the entire country, about women's protection, women's rights and all that. Now, these 5 people, these however many people, they all have to be punished. My personal feeling is that they should be given death penalty because they are accomplices. Not just personal. Shastra says if one kills someone, he has to be killed by death sentence so that he does not take that pap phal, the fruit of that pap, into his next life. Because if he is not killed immediately in this life, next life he has to be killed because he killed in this life, and that will have to come back to him one day. If not this life, if this life he escaped from the state law, the government law, he will never escape the real law of God. So next life he will get it. So by killing him is actually doing him a favor. Okay. Now, as much as we want those rapists to suffer and die, everybody wants that. Anger is like that. And we also agree that if they should face the exact same pain as the woman faced, and even maybe many times greater, right? So if they are suppose not, even if they are killed, they have not experienced rape. So if in the next life, because of their sin, they become women and they are raped by men, so then they will die, same way as they have killed another woman in this life. Now, because people would not know in these persons' next life that actually this girl that was raped now and killed, she was actually a man in her previous life and he raped this woman. They don't know that. We don't know. So, I'm not saying this should happen to anyone. No. That's why there should be a strong government. And there are many things actually. We'll come to that. But I'm just explaining this one situation. We do not know that this, in the future life, when this became a woman and then she was raped and killed, we do not know that this was a man. So we will think that this girl is so innocent and she died, But we do not know. In the previous life she did something because of why she is getting it now. So similarly, now one woman got raped and killed. Why did that happen to that woman? What is the previous lives? We do not know. But we can gauge. Now if I say it, of course it will spark a lot of anger and but if you really understand the law of karma, this is why it happens. But we are not saying that so she deserves it. No, we are not saying. Everything. So we have done many mistakes in the past. In our past lives, what we did, we don't even remember. We don't even know. So the best thing is that everybody should be introduced to Krishna consciousness so that whatever they have done, everything will be nullified. And everything, Krishna will burn to the roots every single, this germination of sinful reactions. Burn to the roots, uprooted completely. So that is the best way to tackle all these problems in one go, by making everybody Krishna conscious. And then there will be profuse natural supply of everything. Why there is scarcity today? Scarcity, natural disasters, war, epidemics. Why these are coming? Every day millions and billions of animals are being slaughtered so that the karma does not come upon us. We'll go scot-free with that. What are we thinking? No. Killing a chicken is not punishable by state law, government law, but not in the case of God's law. God's law doesn't work like that. Sarva yonishu kaunteya sambhavanti murteya jah tāsaṁ brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradah pita. Krishna says, I am the father of all species of life. So if you kill a chicken, that chicken is also my child. How dare you? You will have to pay for it. So we have to understand this law of karma, then we know why things happen. There has to be strong government. At the same time, sometimes if the people, become sinful, and people, why do they become sinful? Strong government means what? Not just imposing strong laws. For rape means, there's death penalty or something like that. That is not sufficient. Government means at all levels. Why there is an increasing amount of rapes or increasing amount of... and rape is when a woman does not agree and the man wants to have sexual relationship with her. But what when woman also agrees? Consensual sex. So that is not rape. So that is okay. No, that is also not okay. From God's point of view, that is also not okay. Unless it is in marriage, and even in marriage only for procreation. Dharma viruddha kamosme. So, So some kinds of illicit sex are punished, some kinds are not punished. So all kinds of things are going on. The human-made law is not perfect. It's completely deficient, completely defective. And therefore, the law of the country does not reflect the law of God. Whereas previously, the Kshatriyas used to rule by the book of the Shastra given by God. So therefore, their law is in line with God's law. So it's far superior way of ruling than today's very defective way of lawmaking. So in this way, if we understand this whole science, what is to come, how things happen, see, then we can understand how to rectify. So it has to start from education, for example. Why there has to be pornography industry? Every pornography who is selling pornography should be jailed. Because there is where the ideas for sense gratification are coming. These horrible thoughts are coming, and one day he will watch, and one day he will want to do it. And nowadays, no need to go to pornography. Mainstream media, mainstream cinema, you can see all these scenes. Bedroom scenes. Is this how we train the people? And then expect sadhus to come out of this system. Huh? And then the women are encouraged to wear very, very revealing clothing, or very horrible clothing. And if a man attacks her, no, this is a man's fault. He has a dirty mind. A woman has very clean mind to wear like that. Huh? Everything is rubbish here. So our Vedic culture is very, very scientific. Very scientific. So it curbs all these things, and then saves time for real aim of life, which is not GDP, for your information. The economic status of a country or a person doesn't actually matter. Economics can be easily solved just by some land and some cows. Enough. We need some grains, we need some vegetables, we need fruits, we need milk and dairy, and that's it. Enough. We don't need anything else. We don't need anything else. What do we need? We need to survive. Other than that, time should be used for Krishna consciousness. But now economics is so complicated, and that is the aim of life, just to increase the numbers of the economy. Now people are worrying about a recession that is going to come. The worst recession of the 21st century, they say. There is a spiritual recession going on, and it's at rock bottom. It is just plummeting like anything, even further, digging in the grave like anything. And then nobody cares. So we can address problems right at the root of right at the seed form, at the seed stage. So education system should be based on God consciousness. Our modern education system, where is mention of God there? Science, social, history, and history books, all what is this? It's fake. Many of things are fake. The version of the history, some things are told, some things are not told, and some things are told in a different way, different light. Because they say winners of the wars, they write history. So the winners will always show the losers in a bad light. The other day I was giving an example. Hitler, is the face of evil. He killed some 6 million Jews. Winston Churchill killed 20 million minimum. Stalin killed another 20 million, 30 million. Mao Zedong killed 100 million. Why are they not the face of evil? We're not saying Hitler is a saint. We're not saying. But what we're saying is some skewed perspective of the past is given. So whatever past we know, we have learned from history books, is skewed perspective. So everything, we are bombarded with so much fake news. We don't know actually what is true and what is false, the way we are taught in this material world. So if we are taught about these eternal principles from the past, like Bhagavad-gītā, it is from the itihas called Mahabharata. Itihas means what? History. We are actually learning history lessons. Bhagavad-gītā is from Mahabharata, history lesson. And Bhagavatam, Purana, Srimad Bhagavat Purana. Purana means old topics. Why are we Why are we researching old topics? We have to new, updated topic. No. Old histories, but subject matters are eternal, always applicable, because they transcend the limits of time, because they are always true. These are always true, because these are the real laws of God. If I say you have to wear sweater, that is only good until winter is finished. When the summer comes, that is not good. The recommendation is not good. Similarly, these are temporary things. Or this you have to do that. But eternal things always are true. Always are true. So, in this way, we have to understand that Krishna's knowledge is eternal. And he knows past, present and future. And he is giving us an idea. So that, why he is giving us an idea of this law of karma and the three modes of material nature and how we should conduct ourselves today, so that our future can be secured. Because we want to secure our future. And that's what we are working for. We are finding a job, we are going to education, we are going in this line, trying to find employment, trying to find insurance, and all kind of things we are doing just to secure our future. Right? But we do not know that future exists after death as well. So Krishna is revealing to us this knowledge about the future. Hey, you're going to live after this so-called death of the body. So you better prepare. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever you think at the last point of your life before you die, you will, depending on that thought, your next life will start. Even you observe this in your day-to-day life. The night before, just before you sleep, whatever you think of, when you wake up the next morning, you will think of the same thing and wake up. You observe this. Maybe some of you have observed, but if you try to observe, then this is what happens. So the same thing happens with death. Death is nothing like a little bit of a sleep. So we next life we will get according to that. So there is a preparation to be done then. So if I want to secure my future, I have to secure that last point of my life. Right? And what is security? When we remember Krishna, because then we can go back to Krishna. If we can't remember, then we have to return to this material world. So remembering Krishna is the only secure position at that last point in life. Okay, we have understood that. Now I have to prepare for it. Okay, how long do I have to prepare? I do not know. So I have to be ready for any time which may be my last moment. So that means, what if it's 2 hours later? I have to become Krishna conscious. So there is an urgency which we do not understand, which we are not understanding because of this whole science of past, present and future. And if that's why Krishna is revealing to us. You see, he says in the Bhagavad-gītā 4th chapter, you see chapter 4 text 16 of Bhagavad-gītā, Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaah tatte karma pravakshami yajñātvā mokṣase shubhāt. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. So what action you should do now, so that in the future you will not have any misfortune. What is action? What is inaction? What is good action? What is bad action? You see here, karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So, you see, these things we have to understand. So, Krishna is explaining here all these things. The Bhagavad-gītā is full of these topics, so that we are very well equipped to handle this life. Bhagavad-gītā is a manual for this life. Every product comes with a manual, right? So similarly, this product of this body comes with the manual of Bhagavad-gītā. So if we study this manual, we will know how to conduct, how to use this body to the best, so that we can have the best outcome. Because you can bring any outcome from this body. This body is a kshetra, and we are kshetrajña. Kshetra means field. Kshetrajña means the knower of the field. We are inside now. Just like a farmer and his farm. So this farmer is the knower of his field, and he can cultivate on his land whatever he wants. He can have a harvest of tomatoes, or he can have a harvest of potatoes, or he can have a harvest of rice, or whatever. So similarly, with this kshetra that we have, we can bring any harvest that we want from this body. So what is the best harvest? What is the most lucrative or profitable harvest I can have? What crop this farmer can grow in his land which will give him the greatest profit? That he should crop, that he should plant, right? So similarly, what will give the best ROI, return on investment, with this field of the body? So if I sow the seeds of sin in this body, with this body, in this kshetra, in this lifetime that I have, this lifetime, this body is like a field. So we are sowing all these seeds, and if I get some bitter, poisonous fruit, poisonous plants, then what will happen to me? Everything is ruined. So we have to know, everybody can do whatever they like. Yeah, that does not mean everything is profitable. Consequences we are not thinking of. Oh, there is a land, I can do whatever I like. Yeah, you can do whatever you like. That's not denying. We're not denying that. But the result also you have to be ready for, consequences. So action, reaction, this whole law of karma, the three modes of material, these are important for us to know. So then, at least in our case, so we cannot know like Krishna what is happening to everyone, past, present and future, and his own past, present and future. He has no past, present and future. He eternally exists. In spiritual world, there is no past, present and future. It is only present. Only present. There is no past, there is no future. How can that be? Yeah. So we cannot imagine that in this with our tiny head. But that is the case in the spiritual world. Even half a moment does not pass there. It is said like that. So that verse is there, no? Brahma Samhita 5:56. All this I am saying is from Shastra. Sayatra, Sayatra, that means in that place where Nimesh ardhakhyo va vrajati nahi yatra api samayah. Nimesha means 1 moment. Ardha means half a moment. Va vrajati nahi, certainly does not. Vrajati means go or pass. That means not even half a moment passes in that place. Samaya means time. So there is no influence of time in the spiritual world. Time means destruction. Kalosmi loka kshayakrit. With time, everything will be destroyed. Now we are celebrating our birthdays. Oh, I am 20 years old, I am 25 years old, I am 30. What is happening? We are 30 years closer to death. 40 years closer to death. 60 years closer to death. So we are actually, our life is being eaten up and we are celebrating. Suppose a snake is anaconda or something like that is gobbling us up, say. So it has gobbled up 25% of my legs. I mean my 25% of my body, until my thighs, until my knees, it's already gobbled up in the anaconda's mouth. So what do I do? Yay, 25% gone. Yes. Until waist. Yay, 50% gone. Until chest. Yay, 75% gone. Do we celebrate? And then when my head was gone, yay, what is that? No more celebration. Finish. I am dead. Everybody else celebrates. The anaconda celebrates. So this Kala Sarpa, this time is considered like a snake. You see here. Kala Sarpa Patali Protkhat Damshtrayate. Durden Tamdre Kala Sarpa Patali Protkhat Damshtrayate. Okay, this is actually talking about Kala Sarpa, but I will Kala Sarpa means actually the black what is that? Black viper, very poisonous. Kala means black, Kala also means time. So time is also a sarpa. Sarpa means snake. So you see this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam. Pramattam-uchchairiti kritya chintaya pravriddha-lobham vishayeshu lalasam. Tvam-apramatah sahasabhipadyate kshulle-lihano hirivakhumantakah. Himanshu is saying even nowadays old people celebrate, till the head they celebrate. Yeah. These kind of foolish people are there. They are getting gobbled up by the anaconda and they are celebrating. My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things, and they all are always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity. But your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time you strike him, just as a snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him. So, there are other places also. So, Kala Sarpa, eating our life every single moment. We are being more and more under the grip of time. So, we are celebrating. So, but in the spiritual world, there is no. So, this is how we have to. Krishna knows everything. So, he is giving us some hints so that we can use that knowledge to save ourselves. He is giving us as much knowledge as we would require to save ourselves from this. We cannot understand everything about the Lord. We cannot understand everything past, present about ourselves. But we can know enough to save ourselves from this predicament of material existence. That much he is allowing us to know. So, that is how Krishna, that's why we have to take knowledge from Krishna. Because he is the knower of past, present and future and bhūtāni. Bhaviṣyāṇi cha bhūtāni. Of all living entities he knows. And not only bhūtāni means living entities, bhūtāni means just Panchamahabhūta is also bhūtāni. Means the material ingredients, the material cosmic manifestation. He knows everything. Every nook and corner. Abhijña Swarat. He is independently knowledgeable of every single nook and corner of creation. And every single living entity. Wherever he is hiding. Krishna knows everything. That is big data. That is real big data. There is people talk about privacy. There is no privacy. Zero privacy. There is CCTV cameras everywhere. What privacy talking about? That's why we have to, we have to conduct ourselves properly. You see, 6.1. Suryognih kham maruddeva somah sandhyahani dishah kam kuh swayam dharma iti hyete daihyasya sakshinah. Sakshinah means witnesses. You may say, I did this sinful activity. Who saw? Okay. The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land and Supersoul himself all witness the activities of the living entity. You may say, come on, this doesn't make any sense. How can the sky see? Where are the eyes of the sky? Where is the eye of the air? What are you talking about? You're all bogus. This is all nonsense. No, my dear. So, every one of these have demigods controlling them. And the demigod, just like these hands are controlled by me, right? And if anything touches my hand or my leg somewhere, I can feel it. I can know. I don't see maybe some lizard or maybe some, maybe cockroach. Something touched my leg, suppose. Something has touched, so although I did not see it, but I can feel it, so there's something there. Or I can know by instruments, okay, like a good example. Like in Singapore, there is police cameras everywhere. So this policeman, he is sitting in the police station and he is looking at all these cameras. Even a security guard has all these cameras in a building and is looking at all these cameras. Just by sitting in one place, he is able to know everything. So, the god of air, for example, Vayu, he has his own planet. But because Vayu is under his control, whatever happens in the presence of Vayu, air, he knows. They are given such power. Yamaraj knows everything. Just by looking at the person, he can tell everything about his past, whatever he has done. And whatever punishments he is going to get in the future, he knows. Just by looking at the person. Yamaraj. So they, demigods, that's why are given a heightened knowledge of all these things. So they can also feel, because this is just like our body is like this. But demigods, by their power, they are able to control. So Indra, he is in charge of the rain. So through the rain, he has so much power that he can, reach out, not only in his personal body, but through this thing that he is controlling, and he can reach out. So we cannot underestimate these things, these statements. These are not some just to scare people, eyes, sky, fire, sun, so far what it can see. Eagle is going 13 kilometers above, 8 miles above, and from that 13 kilometers height, way higher than Mount Everest, from there he can spot a dead rat on the ground from 13 kilometers above. You may say, from 13 kilometers who can see what is happening on the ground? But the eagle can see, and it will swoop down. The vulture, I think, vulture or eagle or something. They can see all the way down and swoop down and collect that rat. What kind of vision do you have to see that far, that clearly? So if an ordinary eagle, which does not have as much brain as we do, has that kind of power, you think the sun god sitting on the sun planet does not have this power of seeing millions of miles away? We only calculate like what we can see. Why do we do that? This is our imperfection. We calculate everybody to be just like us. And how can this eagle see from 13 kilometers above? One dead rat. What can you see from? You can't even spot a building, you can't even spot anything there. Huge building you cannot spot. Our eyesight is so bad. Just 1 kilometer above we cannot see anything. Half kilometer also we cannot spot a dead rat. I don't think even from the top of a building we cannot spot. We are not sure what it is there. So, and this eagle is going 13 kilometers above. So we cannot underestimate these statements. So there is day and night. What is day and night? How can night see anything? What is this night seeing? This is all some, So everything has a personality ruling. And anyway, if you don't believe in anything, Super Soul himself, he is sitting in our heart, closely watching. Sir, what are you doing? He is sitting and watching. He doesn't need anything else. Super Soul is sitting in the heart. Ishvara sarva bhūtānaṁ hriddesha Arjuna tishtati bhrāmayan sarva bhūtāni yantra rudhani mayaya. I am seeing what this idiot is doing, and I am giving him accordingly the situations and bodies so that he can get his punya and papa phal. I am giving, because I know what is going on in his head. That is Krishna. So the Super Soul himself can see through all these night, day and everything. You see, there is another verse in the Bhagavad-gītā. If this is not believable, if these things are not believable, okay, then this one. Sarvatah pānipadam tat sarvatokshishiro sarvatah shrutimaloke sarvamavritya tishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way the Super Soul or Paramatma exists, pervading everything. So he has not only CCTV cameras which only show the video footage, he has audio also. Shrutimaloke, he has ears everywhere. Full audio, visual, full everything he can understand. So we cannot hide. So he is the witness, he is the judge, everything. So how can we hide? Better we buckle up then. The only chance is buckling up. Because when the government says something, we will try to hide and do something. But with God we cannot play this trick, no? Because He knows everything. His surveillance, we are all into this privacy. Where is the privacy? Where privacy? Every single thing is recorded. Not only noted and seen, but recorded also. We may forget, Krishna does not. So, better for us to buckle up and act properly. Become nice devotee. then you will be happy. Krishna wants us to be happy. He is not doing this surveillance just to give us punishment. No. He is seeing when we will come back, when we will change. And once we do that, he is more than happy. He will give all facilities. Just by thinking about the Lord, just by thinking about, becoming a devotee of the Lord, He will make all arrangements, because He can see what you desire, and He will make arrangements for that to come to reality. So in this way, Krishna says, I know everything, and therefore we have to take knowledge from Krishna. His knowledge is perfect. Scientists' knowledge, they don't know anything about the past, present or future. And they're saying, coming up with stupid theories like Big Bang. Something exploded and everything was so orderly, everything happened nicely, and now we are having this perfect life. This is their understanding of past. Something exploded. Explosion is their so-called beginning. Okay. So shall we explode and bring some more Albert Einsteins into existence? Or will the Albert Einstein be finished with their explosion? So, no common sense. But talking nonsense and to putting in school textbooks, and we are learning that, and we have to write. How did the universe start? Big Bang, we have to write. If you say no, not Big Bang, then you will get 0 marks. This is our past understanding that we have. Evolution, monkey became man. Then why is monkey still existing? Don't know. But let's just study that and put in an exam and get full marks. This is how we are taught. If monkey became man, why is monkey still existing? Man was always there, monkey was always there, every species is always there at all times. So, in this way we understand so many things. The Bhagavad-gītā is a perfect book. So, by being a non-devotee, we cannot know Krishna, we cannot know anything about Him, but if we start to hear from Him, then we will have very, very useful, very perfect knowledge, so that we can make use of it and become a devotee of Krishna and perfect our lives and help others with this knowledge. Now this live stream is watched by 35 people, but there are other live streams which people are doing nonsensical things and thousands of people are watching. So we need to increase the viewership of these kinds of topics. Every one of you, I request. So if you have learned something in this session, so next time please share it with your friends as well, because this is very important. This knowledge, people are suffering only because they do not have this knowledge. We don't want viewership to become famous. We are not interested. We are interested to serve as many people as possible before this body dies. So please share and get other people to also come and watch and take a book, Bhagavad-gītā, and start reading, and come for these classes. Online we have, in premises we have. So this is very important for us to know these things. Alright, so I will stop here. Of course we can talk a lot about this, but I guess you understand and how we can proceed. So we have takeaways from this. So we have to now we have to act in such a way that there will be no more material reaction anymore, no more fruits of this karma. What to do? Chant Hare Krishna. It starts with chanting and hearing, like what you heard today. Of course many of you are regulars, but there are also some new people maybe. So in that way it has to be a regular activity, regularly hearing, regularly chanting, regularly reading these books. So in this way we become purified. Any activity in connection with Krishna has no fruit of piety or sin in this world. It is transcendental to both piety and sin. It is a perfect activity. So please do this and share this knowledge with everyone. The whole world is suffering today. First the pandemic happened, and then now war is happening, now recession is coming. All these things, all suffering is going on because of sinful activities, and therefore the nature restricts supply and we suffer. So it's all going on under the plan of the Lord. And I'll just give you an example. Ramarajya in the kingdom of Lord Ramachandra, it was so opulent that not only were there ample resources of everything, but also Even mentally and physically, people did not have any diseases or even death. They could die only when they wanted to. If they did not want, they will not die. That much of perfect life they used to have. And it's not some story only, myth. No, it's reality. It's history. History is not myth. Myth is the so-called stupid scientists, Big Bang. That is a myth. Complete myth, rascaldom. So you see, this was 1840, Srimad Bhagavatam. Ime janapadaha svriddhaha supakvaushadhivirudhaha vanadrinadyudanvanto hi edhante tavavikshitayehi. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects. Kunti Devi is saying this to Krishna, by the way. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. So flourishing of civilization will happen if there are herbs and grains in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Krishna's favorable glance will produce all these things. And Krishna's unfavorable glance will cause the exact opposite. Everything will be restricted. Rivers will stop flowing. There will be dams. People will construct dams. Why? Why rivers are stopping to flow? Because sinful activities. Come on, what is the explanation? What kind of explanation is this? Yes, sir. Krishna makes some people think of the dam project and start dams. Block the rivers. Krishna has his ways of doing things. We don't only understand how his mechanics work, how he works this material world. So if we understand all these things, then we will know why things are happening the way they are happening and what outcomes they will have. And even you now see when the problem shows up, when somebody is doing something wrong, correct him with concrete knowledge, conclusive knowledge, so that he can be saved from future misfortune. We are not here pointing out faults just to pick arguments with people. No, we will point out faults of civilization. We will do everything only to save them. Only to save them, because somebody must be there to correct if we are going astray. So that is the task we have taken up, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes being corrected, but somebody has to do it. Who's going to bell the cat? So, so these flourishing, this comfortable life will be easily had if we become God conscious, Krishna conscious. There is no such thing as overpopulation. There is no need to go to Mars to colonize Mars because we don't have enough space on Earth. We have more than enough space. We have not enough brains, not enough devotion to the Lord, not enough devotees, running the show. That is why the world is like this. They think that, this world is not sufficient, we need another planet so that we can screw up that planet also. So that's what these scientists are doing now. Elon Musk is thinking like that. Stephen Hawking also said like that. So, and they justify such useless excursions to other planets and the spacecraft and millions and billions of dollars by saying that we are actually helping humanity by finding another space so that there will be ample resources for human beings and this and that. In the name of, as if they are doing the greatest charitable work, greatest philanthropic humanitarian work by going to other planets. But what they are doing is utter rubbish. The only humanitarian work which actually helps anybody is Krishna consciousness, and if that is done, 10 times of the present population can be easily accommodated on this planet without any trouble. 10 times. There is enough land to produce food for everybody, food and shelter. So this is the thing. So alright, I will stop here. Any questions or comments on this topic? Rajeshwari Maharaj is asking, Prabhuji, why is Krishna declaring that me no one knows? How much Krishna has revealed himself? That much exalted devotees, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj have realized him. Yes, so why is Krishna saying me no one knows? Because, you see, if you see the flow of the verses in this chapter, he is talking about the demoniac people. They cannot know him. You see 725 for example. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. that they are unborn and I am unborn and infallible. They do not know this. Who? The foolish and unintelligent. But to the devotees, yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. The pure devotees always see me, and not only they see me, they control me totally. I have no independence, Krishna says. He asvatantra eva dvija. I have no swatantra, I am completely controlled by my devotees. Like Mother Yashoda bound up Krishna. Arjuna used Krishna as a driver. So he comes under the control of devotees. Whereas the non-devotees have no access to him. So continuing from 725, he says, "O Arjuna, I know everything that has happened in the past, present and future, but me no one knows." Right? Next, O scion of Bharata, that means O descendant of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate, ichha dvesha. That is all these conditioned souls. And pure devotees above all these things, above ichha and dvesha. Right? Now next verse, you see. Yesham to antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Because they know now Krishna is the Supreme, I am his servant, I should serve him. Next you see, Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatanti ye te brahma tadviduh kritsnam adhyatma karma chakhilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. Why? Because they know that he can give liberation. That means they know about him. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. See, they know. And those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. See that. And Krishna says in 4th chapter, 9th verse, Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameta Arjuna. If somebody knows me, my birth and my activities, he has no more birth and activities in this material world, he will come back to me. How can we know him then? We have to know him as much he has revealed, as we have learned from the pure devotees. So in this way we can know him. And this other verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, about Kala Sarpa kind of, I think 1:8:28. Manye tvam kalam ishanam anadinidhanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhūtānam yan mithah kalihim. O Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time. Why? He knows everything in past, present and future? Because he is time. I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living entities are due to social intercourse. So, in this way, you can understand. Okay, so Subhodhi Bose, does he always appear in Krishna form like playing flute? Once in a day of Brahma, he comes as Krishna. But he also comes in other forms. Rama dimurti shukalani yamena tishthan nanavataram akarod bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramah pumanyo govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. He comes in Rama, Narsimha, Vamana, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Parshurama, Buddha, Kalki and Dattatreya. So many forms, unlimited forms. As there are waves in the ocean, similarly, there are forms of the Lord who incarnate in this material world. But once in a day of Brahma, that means once in 8.64 billion years, he comes as Krishna. And that last time he came 5,000 years ago only. Right? So it's just me. Why Krishna sent us to earth? I know there is a reason of what Krishna do, but I want to know. So I have already told this. So he has sent us not only to this earth, to this material world actually. In this material world there are many planets. Earth is one of them. Presently we are on earth. But we have been Brahmanda Brahmite. We have been moving in these planets, one planet to another, one species to another. We have been moving from upper to lower planetary systems like anything. Presently we are on earth, in this body. So we are here because we are to be rectified. Why a criminal is in the prison? There is a reason. Why? What is the reason? Because he committed a crime. Now he has to correct that mentality so that he can go back and be without any criminal mentality. He will have sufficiently atoned for his criminal activity. So sufficient atonement for our criminal mentality of lording it over, becoming the Lord or competitor of the Lord, that has to be done. So we have to become an eternal servant. We have to be agreeable to surrender to the Lord instead of challenging the Lord or being a competitor of the Lord. So the moment we surrender to the Lord, then the effect of material nature will wane on us. And once we can keep that steadily, that's it. We have crossed the ocean of material existence and we can go back to Godhead, which is our eternal home and never to return. So that's the whole mission here for our rectification. So as many lives it may take. Actually, I'll show you two verses. Just today I was reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam. See, in the 10th canto, 87th chapter, verse number 1, Parikshit Maharaj asks, okay, never mind, this question will go to another subject, but I will just show the answer. You see, Shri Shuka Uvacha, 1087.2, Buddhindriya manah pranam jananam asrijat prabhuh matrartham cha bhavartham cha atmane kalpanaya cha. Shukadeva Goswami said, the Supreme Lord manifested the material intelligence, senses, mind and vital air of the living entities so that they could indulge their desires for sense gratification, take repeated births to engage in fruitive activities, become elevated in future lives and ultimately attain liberation. This is the entire program of this material world and injecting us into this material world. Entire program is nicely explained in this one verse. What is that? He created all these things, material intelligence, senses, mind and vital air and the entire accommodating space, the planets and everything, so that the living entities could indulge their desires for sense gratification. We have come to gratify ourselves. So go here, indulge their desires for sense gratification, take repeated births to engage in fruitive activities and become elevated in future lives and ultimately attain liberation. So we go back again. So our thing is corrected and we go back again. So this is a corrective facility, this material world. That's why we have been sent here. Some people think, oh, God sent me. Some people they think like this. My mission, God sent me here. My purpose in life. People say motivational speakers, you should find your purpose in life. What God sent you here for? As if God sent him here on a mission. Okay, you help people to earn money. Oh, I felt, I had this epiphany that, God sent me here to help people out of poverty by giving them how to become entrepreneurship. So I will do this course and I will charge a hell of a lot of dollars and then, like $10,000, $20,000 so that they can sign up for my course and become rich. So this is what the God's mission is for me. Shut up and listen to Bhagavad-gītā and make your life successful. If you have time, help others by sharing this own message. Don't talk any rubbish and then help others and go back. This is the actual purpose in life. We are not sent here for different purposes. Oh, some were sent here to fight for women's rights. Somebody came here to make people entrepreneurs. No. We are sent here because we are criminals. Okay? This is a prison house. Rectify ourselves, get out of here. That is the whole mission for every single soul that exists in this material world. I may talk in blunt language, but this is the truth. This is the truth. It's only for rectification. Subhadeep Bose, why does Krishna say those who worship any other form worships only me only by the wrong method if he appears in other forms also? He does not appear in other forms. He appears in other forms. He has his own forms. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam Ananta Rupam means he has infinite forms. That means Matsya, Kurma, all these are his forms only. Narasimha are his forms. But demigods are not his forms. They are not him. They are like us, living entities who are, because of their past piety, they have now become demigods, devatas, exalted controllers of this material world. But they are not independent in their control. They are only part and parcel of his body, his. Because Krishna is the Supreme and we are supposed to serve him. But the vast majority of the souls in this material world have come here in the first place because of a rebellious attitude towards Krishna, and that's why they were put here in this material world. So we have that rebellious attitude very strongly in us. So vast majority of people do not want to worship God. So Krishna is kind enough. Okay, you don't want to worship me. Okay, fine. Okay, then you worship these devatas. But who are they? They are empowered by me from background. You will see that there's something else. There's somebody else. But actually, I am the one powering every one of them. But because you are not interested in me directly, okay, at least worship him for some material happiness that you want to enjoy. But since I have put in place the method of sacrifice by which you have to worship the demigod, so at least you are abiding by that. So it is better than complete wanton sinful life, because at least you are adhering to some codes or some instructions of the Vedas where this worship of the demigods are recommended for fruitive results to go to heavenly planets. So at least you are following my instructions there. But of course, that's not the ideal situation. That's not what I really want you to do. I am making you obedient, although you are inobedient or disobedient, just by introducing this proxy gods. This is Krishna's. This is what Krishna actually is saying in Bhagavad-gītā. So they are not gods, they are not equal to me. They are these proxies. Because you are not interested in me, okay, I have given some other face so that you can worship him, who will award you whatever you want. But in that way, at least you are worshipping my part and parcel, and slowly you will make some advancement. And then after many future life, bhūtāni janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. You will surrender to me directly. When you become jnanavan, after many millions of births of trying and failing, when you become actually jnanavan, then you will surrender to me directly. Then you will be perfect. Until then, you are imperfect. That's why although Devata worship is given in the Vedas and Vedas is given by Krishna, but that is not the real thing he wants us to do. That is just a concession, some trick that Krishna is employing to make the disobedient people into obedient people. It's in the transition phase. Okay, you don't obey me, okay, you worship this person, then he will give you this. Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, I will worship this person. So at least you agreed to what I have to say, although that's not what I really want to say. At least you are agreeable to something. That agreeable thing is good, that attitude is good. So slowly, by and by, it will become mature, and then one life, you will be ready to actually surrender to me completely. So that's the whole agenda of Krishna. Vishal is saying, Prabhuji, your classes are much more better and more authentic than classes conducted by ISKCON. Hare Krishna. It's because Prabhupada is sitting here in the form of his books, not because of me. Anjali Mata is saying 60 to 80,000 thoughts per second. No, I don't think so. Per day. Yes, not per second. How can we think 60,000 thoughts per second? No. Per day. If we are thinking 60,000 thoughts per second, we are mental case. What are we thinking? We are not even thinking of one thing. No, we can't also actually. Krishna can think millions of things at one time, but we can't. We can only focus on one thing, and it will take some time for us to switch to another one. Prabhuji, can pious activities neutralize sinful activities of one's? So this is a good question. 6:2:17 Srimad Bhagavatam. So yeah, Anandi Mataji is saying 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, yes. Average of 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour. Every minute we have so many thoughts. Okay, fine. So, Taisthani aghani puyante tapodhana vratadibhi nadharmajam tad dridhayam tad api shangri sevaya. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. So, you can neutralize through these vrata, dāna, and this yajna and all these pious methods. But the thing is, you can only neutralize the effect, but you cannot neutralize the underlying cause of why these things are coming. So the thing is not uprooted. Whereas, when one serves the lotus feet of Krishna, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations, and that is even further emphatically said here. Nishkritam, atonement, ultimate atonement, aikantika nishkritam. So, tasmat sankirtanam vishnor jagan mangalamam hasam mahatamapi kauravya vidhyaika antika nishkritam. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot even the reactions of the greatest sins. Uproot is the word. Therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtan movement is the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. Please try to understand this so that others will take it seriously. There's another verse which anyway, you get the point. Actually, 437 is also, by Krishna consciousness, by transcendental knowledge, we can completely burn. यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर्भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. As a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. So this transcendental knowledge we can have by bhakti. Pranipatena pariprashena sevaya. This seva is bhakti. So yes, you can neutralize. There are certain activities of atonement, prayaśchitta it is called. But it is like the bathing of an elephant. By itself it is not sufficient. We have to remove the sinful mentality that is causing us to act again in the sinful way. So I have committed a sin and I commit the prayaśchitta atonement to neutralize the sin. But the mentality with which these sinful activities are being performed, that is not being curbed. So the sinful mentality is producing, waves and waves of sinful activities. And we cannot sufficiently atone for everything. You see, kvachin nivartate bhadrat, kvachit charatitat punaha prayaśchittam athopartham manye kunjara sauchavat. Sometimes one is very alert so as not to commit sinful activities, is victimized again by sinful life again. You see, I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. Parikshit Maharaj is saying. It is like the bathing of an elephant. For an elephant cleanses itself by taking a full bath in the river, but then throws dust over its head and body as soon as it returns to the land. So we are also like that. We may clean ourselves completely by this so-called prayaśchitta, but come back and again throw dust of all sinful activities again. So this is called kunjara sauchavat. Saucha means bathing. Sauchavat means like. Vat means like. Kunjara means elephant. Like the bathing of an elephant. Amit Chauhan is asking, since a normal human cannot remember past life, then why it is said sometimes even if we are very good in current life, still we are punished for the sin of past? We may not remember, but Krishna remembers in what we have done in the past. So just like when I was a 1 year old, I don't know what I have done, but my parents know what I have done. So just because I do not remember something, it does not mean that I did not do anything. So what we did in our previous life, we have forgotten. But Krishna remembers, and He will award us the resultant reaction. Now, you may ask, why did Krishna not allow us to remember so that we can understand our mistake? The reason is, we can't handle that much of memory. This life's memories and this life's incidents already are enough pain for us. What if we remember our past life and our past 100 lives, what all we have done, what past 1,000 lives, what all miseries we have done? If He makes us remember all of that, we can't handle such memory. We will be in eternal depression. So Krishna knows all past, present and future. That's the other thing. If we know actually that much of past, present and future, we will be in depression. Actually, there is this disorder, yes, it's a good, there is this disorder. Some people have this, very, very rare, but I have seen a documentary on this. I was actually laughing to myself. It was quite interesting actually. These people have a disorder by which they can remember every single detail of every single thing that they have done in their life. And it's called a disorder because they actually suffer from that. Because they say, I want to forget, but I just can't. I don't know why this thought is with me. And everything, if they read the book once, they remember entirely. Which page, which what, everything they remember. And what happened on each day, they can remember everything. What are they going to do with that? They can't handle that memory. They are depressed. So, Krishna, he says, vedāhaṁ samatītāni, I know everything past, present and future. He is not depressed. He is happy. So, we can't fathom the pain that we will undergo if He makes us actually remember. So, it's His mercy that we actually forget. And sometimes, when a person meets with an accident, very severe accident, sometimes he doesn't remember how the accident actually happened. He goes into a coma and then maybe comes back. He forgets. It's like a coping mechanism to deal with that stress. And because of that intense pain, he forgets the past. Sometimes they forget even the entire past. They forget all their relatives and everything. So, birth is so painful that because of that intense agony that we face during birth, during our residence in the mother's womb and while coming out, it is such painful experience that we forget. It is exactly like an accident, like a painful accident. It's extremely torturous and we can't even remember whatever happened before that. It is said that a pious soul in the womb of his mother, he remembers his past 100 lives and he cries wretchedly and he prays to the Lord, please save. You may ask, how can he pray in the womb? Yes, his intelligence is still open at the time, when he is about 7 months old, around that time. But when he takes birth, comes out, he forgets everything. His memory is completely lost and taken over by Maya completely. This is all explained in the 31st chapter of the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But Krishna, he knows whatever we have done in the past, and therefore whatever desires we had that were unfulfilled in our previous life, that the kind of thoughts we had, those flavors we will have in this life also. We will start with those flavors again. We will forget the incidents, but we will carry the flavor of such life and start again. So in this way, one's existence goes on in this material world. This is called vasana. Divya Mataji. Prabhuji, there is an urgent need of Krishna consciousness, and so ISKM must be known everywhere in this world. When everyone will be able to get the advantage when everyone will be able to get the advantage of this abundant spiritual knowledge? Well, when means we have to work for it now. So highest game should be known, yes. So we have to work for it. Not that Krishna will suddenly make it known everywhere. Then what service we will do if he does everything? He can do it, but what service we will do? So he wants us to grow while serving him. Grow in our devotion so that we become more and more Krishna conscious. So we have to become more Krishna conscious, and by spiritual strength only this movement can grow. So if everybody becomes spiritually strong, then the movement will grow automatically. Shubham Shukla, Dr. Shubham Shukla. Please recommend some authorized biography of Prabhupada. I am neophyte. You can read the Leelamrita as it is, and there is also a Prabhupada Leelamrita by Satsvarup Das Goswami. Well, there are some things which are, some people are not quite happy with some of the details here and there. But to have a general idea of Prabhupada's life and his movement, you can read Prabhupada Leelamrita. And there is Leelamrita as it is, which is a compilation of Prabhupada's own recollections of his life and where he has described his own life, different ways, and they put them in order according to his chronology of life. So that is another source. So you can read that. So Vrajagishwar Prabhu is saying he and his friends used to discuss mathematical equations and problems during free time at school. That is how nerdy he used to be. Yeah. We used to take pleasure in solving mathematical problems, and it was not something out of place for me. That was what I used to enjoy doing. I used to do those problem solving not because I want to learn or something, or because it is difficult I want to practice. No, it's just for pleasure. Find new problems which are not there in the syllabus, or try to solve those kind of things, all kind of things. Sindhu, Prabhuji, I am new to Krishna consciousness. I want to ask one question. Can we worship Shalagram Shila, Prabhuji? Okay, for now, so Shalagram Shila worship is to be done by Brahmanas. So not by birth. You can become a Brahmana by proper initiation process, and then you can worship this deity worship. For now, the more important thing that you have to do is Shravanam Kirtanam. Archanam is deity worship, the Shalagram Shila Puja. But that's not the first thing, because you have to become a Brahmana first. So what I suggest is you start. So deity worship is for second initiated devotees. So you have to start now Shravanam and Kirtanam first. So hearing regularly, reading Bhagavad-gītā and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and taking Krishna Prasadam, and have pictures of the Lord in the house and wipe them, and offer some flowers if possible, and like that, but don't make it very elaborate, and spend time wake up in the morning, Mangalarati, those songs you can learn, and like that. So morning waking up is very important, because that was sattvic. When we have more and more sattvic, then we become more and more pure. And if we become rajasic and tamasic, then we will go down. So waking after sunrise, this is all rajasic, and waking after noon and all this is tamasic. This night shift thing and all, this is all tamasic thing. So first thing is Shravanam Kirtanam. Spend time, good time in reading nicely Prabhupada's books and chanting Hare Krishna, and take Krishna Prasadam. Learn cooking, learn all the services. Eventually you will be introduced to deity worship, and at that time you can do. Divya Mataji, Prabhuji, yesterday I returned from Puri. I am missing Jagannath Swami now. As Krishna is everywhere, now how I should relate this missing feeling? So that missing feeling is remembrance, and that smaranam is same as Krishna association. So that's good. That kind of feeling is very conducive for Krishna consciousness, if we can think like that. So that is our whole point, how to advance in Krishna consciousness. That Radharani, she says, Sangama viraha vikalpe varamiha viraho na sangamantasya ekasya eva sange tribhuvanam apitanmayam virahe. Padyavali 240th verse. So it is said that if I have to choose between meeting Krishna and separating from him, I choose separation. Because by separating, while I meet him, I can only see him in front of me, but separating, I can see him everywhere. So I want to see him everywhere, not just in one place. Of course, we are not there at that stage, but yeah, this missing feeling is good. That is purification actually. So you read about him more, you read about Krishna, read Prabhupada's books. So that's how we advance, by remembering him. That's why Krishna also, how much he has missed Krishna when Krishna left this world. And this is what Arjuna said then. Desha kalartha was, Desha kalartha, forgot already. 1:15:27. Desha-kalartha yuktāni hrittāpopashamaani ca haranti smaratascittam govindabhihitani me. Now, because Krishna has left this world, so Arjuna is saying, now I am attracted to those instructions imparted to me by the personality of Godhead, Govinda, because they are impregnated with instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. So, this is how we have to keep our mind intact, by hearing the messages of Krishna. Rajeshwari Mataji is saying, Prabhuji, understand that everything is recorded, then why do we chant Sankalpa Mantra before doing any auspicious pujas to record it? No, we are not recording it, we are declaring it, that's all. We are announcing it. Not just to, even if we do not announce, they will know, the demigods will know. But by announcing it, it is to control our own mind, that we are acknowledging that they are witnesses and we are declaring to them, and we are declaring to Krishna, of course. It is to, like initiation. Ceremony is not required, but if there is ceremony, then there is this, it solidifies in our own heart. Okay, I have taken my vows at this point in this time, in front of the sacrificial fire, in front of the deity, in front of Prabhupada, in front of all the Vaishnavas, and of course invisibly the demigods are also watching. So I have taken this vow and I cannot, forego it. So it is actually to control our own mind that we do sankalpa and declare. And it is also courtesy to say I am doing this and doing it, instead of just doing it. I am doing this and then to do it. See, so that's proper way. So it is to actually control our own mind. This saffron color cloth or all these things, these are not to show off to somebody else or show to others that I am brahmachari. It is to control my own mind. That hey, this actually means fire, fire color. This. What is that? Garments. The Vanaprastha should wear matted locks of hair on his head and let his body hair, nails and moustache grow. He should not cleanse his body of dirt. He should keep a water pot, deerskin and rod, wear the bark of a tree as covering and use garments colored like fire. So garments colored like fire. So of course Vanaprastha. Actually brahmacharis usually they used to wear only white. It's only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur who started the saffron color for brahmacharis also. Because in the Ramakrishna mission they were doing like that, and then people would give them the respect of sannyasis and treat them as sadhus and everything. They said, okay, no, our people also should wear. What is this? As if we are not qualified, they are qualified. What is this? So, but also, if it's colored like fire, in the fire sacrifice, fire Sacrifice, you throw in and then that's a sacrifice, right? So we are sacrificing our body. Of course, we cannot burn our body, but this fire color will let us understand that this body is sacrificed for Krishna's pleasure. That's like every grain is thrown in the fire for the satisfaction of the Lord. So our body is draped in this fire-colored cloth, so that we always remind ourselves that this body is for a sacrifice for Krishna. So every activity that comes out of this body, every word, every thought, should be in service of Krishna. That's a sacrifice. So this is not to declare that now I am this exalted brahmachari. No. It is to control our mind that I have to sacrifice. This is a reminder. KKHH, what is this? Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Is that the thing? Excellent, thank you for your straight talking. Yeah. Football cuts. This is the best thing, the idea of going live on YouTube. Yeah, I think YouTube is a bit better platform, I guess. But the more we go live on YouTube, I think you have to come out of your football mentality. Otherwise, Maya will play football with you. Hopefully, these live streams on YouTube will liberate you from the football, being a football. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare. We don't remember past lives, and now today hearing this means that previously did not have this knowledge. What has caused this knowledge reaching ears, eyes today? Vijayasama humble obeisances, Prabhu. Well, some Purva Janma Kritani, Sukrita, Purva Janma Sukrita. So that is explained in 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, 40th verse to 44th verse, how a person in the previous life so somehow or other is connected. Whether it was from past life or present life, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So now we have come, now we have to take advantage of it. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hyavashopi saha jignāsurapayogyasya shabda brahmati vartate. Even the before verse 643. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. 643 and 44, so that's the whole point. It's just me. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the class today and answering my question. You're welcome. Hriday Shukla, please recommend some authorized biography of Prabhupada. So I have just answered that question. So I hope you heard that. Looks like devotees like Sundagopal Prabhu and yourself are putting that disorder to the best use. I actually forgot that. In what context you said disorder? What disorder was that? Sunand, Suchandra Prabhu. People with such memory power disorder should only read Srila Prabhupada's books. Yes. Memory power disorder. Everybody is asking this authentic biography of Prabhupada. What is the matter? Why everybody is coming to asking authentic biography of Prabhupada? Why suddenly? If after studying one can remember a subject matter is gifted with good memory or smriti. Yeah, for some people it is like it is a curse. Only if one is Krishna conscious, then they can remember, as Suchandra Prabhu said. He should read Prabhupada books so that he can remember everything and go back to Godhead. After finishing all works, your class made my day. Hare Krishna. Vishal, Prabhuji, my philosophy teacher says that Mahabharata as mythology, how to reply these people? Ask them, you sell him one Bhagavad-gītā. You sell him one Bhagavad-gītā as it is. Ask him to read Prabhupada books and ask him to attend our philosophical classes. He doesn't know anything about anything. Ask him to come first, attend. How Swami Vivekananda able to read 700-page book in 1 hour? I don't believe it. People can make any story they want. I don't believe it. And even though he has read or what, he did not understand anything obviously. He skimmed through the 700 pages maybe, but nothing he understood. That's why he is talking nonsense. Hriday Shukla. Amoghleela says that BSS, what is that? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has forbidden to wear red. No, red is different. Saffron is different. That is Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says blue and red we cannot wear, no? Saffron is different. Also, he was able to read German language book without even looking at it. So what? Why are you reading biography of Vivekananda? So what? Even if you can speak the language of the animals, I don't care. If he is not a devotee, he is a rascal number one, that's all. Sindhu Mati, Prabhuji, can you please tell me what are the regulations to be followed to chant in Tulsi Japmala? You have to be vegetarian, no onion, no garlic, no coffee, tea, and any caffeine in any way, and no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Yeah, then you can chant on the Tulsi Mala. Rahul Patankar. Prabhuji, for new devotees practicing Krishna consciousness, whom shall we trust to? ISKCON or to Ritviks? No, you should trust Shastra, we should trust Prabhupada. Now, after you read what is the matter, then you make your own decision. You see, we have material. You don't just believe us just because we are Ritvik, oh, you should, I can immediately say, oh, you should believe us. No, you evaluate the Shastra, evaluate what Prabhupada said, and make your own decision. We say that if you are intelligent, you will agree to the Ritvik system because that's what Prabhupada wanted. But don't take my word for it. Do all the research. Actually, where to take what, you might not even know because there is so much material of Prabhupada, right? So much text, his conversations, books, lectures, everything. So that's why we have compiled this Initiations After 1977 book, and please somebody share all the links, the position paper, the video of Sundar Gopal Prabhu, 48 minutes video documentary about Ritvik system in question and answer format, interview format, and then we ourselves have done a 5-part lecture series on this Ritvik system of initiations with full Shastric reference. Each lecture was about almost on an average 3 hours long, so it's a 15-hour material, and that is the most comprehensive material. So we have the most comprehensive material from Shastra on this system on the internet. So you can take advantage of that. So the playlists and everything will be shared here in the comment section chat, and we'll also leave that in the description and pinned comment in the after this live stream. So take advantage of that. I can't wait for AM. Yes, so this coming Monday is an AM, but we are actually answering the previous questions. And we may not take new questions because actually we could not complete the session in the last Monday. That's why we're going to have another Monday. Actually, I was supposed to finish it in that day. It was going on very late. Amoghleela also celebrating birthday in ISKCON temple. Prabhuji, give your reflection. So sometimes devotees may honor other devotees' birthday as a matter of gratitude, and the devotee who is being offered such respect, his mentality is to serve. Okay, these many years have passed away, so now I have to serve even more, because the number of years in my life are lesser now and I have to serve more. So a birthday should be service, more service. Not only on the birthday, but it should be a continuous thing. So, and those people, they may sometimes show respect by doing that, but I don't know what way he celebrated and what, I don't know. This video is on my Ashraya YouTube channel. Anyway, I don't know. Rauji, daily I watch and share your Wisdom Bites video in our ISK Masters group. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Vishal, your 15-hour Ritvik videos are awesome. My all doubts have cleared. Oh wow, you have actually watched the 15 hours. That's nice. Somebody has the patience. That's good. This is the Ritvik System of Initiations course, 5-part series, this playlist. And this is the IA-77 book in different languages. This is the link. And Ritvik, a bona fide system. This is the documentary, that interview actually, 48 minutes with all kinds of references, everything on the screen, nicely, very nicely presented by Nimanita Prabhu actually. Hriday Shukla is saying, Prabhu, this Ritvik make my faith completely move. What is that? So anyway, you read that our this thing, the material, and then you can understand. Yash Kharwade, Prabhuji, what is the meaning of Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion? Cheating religion means Sanatan Dharma means that which revives our eternal relationship with the Lord. But in the name of religion, sometimes, especially in the Vedas, the Karmakanda section, some promises of fruitive results are given. Oh, you can go to heavenly planet, you can get a beautiful wife, you can get this and that, children and all that, these kind of things. So those are cheating religion, because that's not the real goal of religion. So materially motivated religion is called cheating religion, Kaitav religion. Religion should not be materially motivated, it should just be to please the Lord. Phala shrutiriyam nirnam nashreyo rochanam param shreyo vivikshaya proktam yatha bhaishajjarochanam. Those statements of scripture promising fruitive rewards do not prescribe the ultimate good for men, but are merely enticements for executing beneficial religious duties, like promises of candy spoken to induce a child to take beneficial medicine. You see? So, promises of candy. If I want to give a child some medicine, I will say, okay, you take this medicine, I will give you a candy. Then the child may take the medicine just for the candy. But actually, the candy is not the real benefit. The real benefit is that he will come out of that fever by taking the medicine. But the child does not understand all these things. So he is given some, so people who are like childlike, like that, they don't have much intelligence to understand actual aim of life, what is actual good and what is bad. They want this candy of heavenly life. Okay, you take the candy, but you do this yajna process. And that yajna process involves worship of Vishnu and then offering that share of sacrifice to the demigod whom we are worshipping. So in that way we are at least officially worshipping Vishnu. That is the medicine. And that over many lifetimes of doing that, eventually will come to the point of pure devotional service without any motive. So these motivated religious systems are cheating religions, because they will actually keep us in this material world for a very long time. If we can skip all of that and come to the pure devotional service, which is just without any motive, jnana karmadi anavritam, that is perfection. In India, ISKCON Bangalore also follow Ritvik system. Yes. Hriday Shukla, can't Prabhupada make an Acharya? ISKCON said, qualified Acharya. Prabhupada gave the system how to become a qualified Acharya. But if I do not become an Acharya by following the instruction, who is to be blamed? Prabhupada is to be blamed? No. So, teacher will give the knowledge. And Annimath is also saying the same thing. Students are not taking instructions of teacher. We can't blame the teacher. That is the thing. So Prabhupada has given everything. And even if one is a pure devotee, what is the need for him to become an Acharya? The knowledge is already given in Prabhupada's books. and the system is there, Shiksha Guru is everything is there, and he is the perfect Guru. So even if Prabhupada is personally here physically, he would say the same things that he said in the book. He will not invent something new. So we already have all the every way to access Srila Prabhupada like that, and so we are already disciples of Prabhupada like that. You see. So what is the need of any conditioned soul to come and stand in the way and say that you are chant my pranati mantra as if you are liberated soul? So this is wrong. You can't do that. That is maryada vyatikrama, without being authorized, just taking up the post. Prabhupada criticized the very same thing about Gaudiya Math. After my Guru Maharaj left, they, without authorization, they appointed a new Acharya and everything was ruined. So that he said in the purport also, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So why we should make the same mistake? Same mistake this ISKCON made. Without any authorization, put a new Acharya there. Nowadays people are talking about law of attraction, which says that on whatever thought we contemplate, we get that thing in future. And in my college, one friend of mine is also believing in this. Okay, so I help him meditate on Krishna, then he will get Krishna. Then he will attract Krishna. The law of attraction. Actually, there is a verse for this. 526 purport, there is a verse here. To cite an analogous example, Darshana dhyana samsparshair matsya kurma vihangamaha svanyapatyani pushnanti tatthāvavit api padmaja. By vision, by meditation and by touch only do the fish, tortoise and the birds maintain their offspring. Similarly do I also, O Padmaja. The fish brings up its offspring simply by looking at them. The tortoise brings up its offspring simply by meditation. The eggs of the tortoise are laid on land and the tortoise meditates on the eggs while in the water. Similarly, the birds, they by touch they maintain their offspring. So tortoise does by meditation. Similarly, the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away from the Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode simply by thinking of him constantly, by engagement in Krishna consciousness. He does not feel the pangs of material miseries. This state of life is called Brahma Nirvana, or the absence of material miseries due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. This is our law of attraction. So from here, we can meditate on the Lord and we can attract the Lord. So use that for this, or you want to do something else? Your friend may have read Alchemist. Is that a book? Maybe. Oh, I forgot one thing. Rahul Patanga. If one worship Lord Shiva thinking him to be the highest Vaishnava, then what will be the result? Then he will become Krishna conscious. But also, we have to worship Lord Shiva or not. We have to do by we cannot jump the authority of our Guru. So, whatever we do, we have to follow the authority of our current spiritual master. So, our spiritual master, what did he say? Srila Prabhupada said, no, in fact, Ganesh is also a great devotee of Krishna. And he always holds the feet of Narasimhadev so that he can get the power to remove obstacles for others. Now, that, although he is a devotee, and Rupa Goswami says we must worship Ganesh before our worship every day of Krishna, just so that he can remove obstacles in our worship. But Prabhupada forbade us to do so because we will quickly go into something else, demigod worship. Even if one person does it right, other person may see this person do it and then say, oh, he is worshipping Ganesh, I can also worship Ganesh, and they do it without that proper understanding and it will degenerate into demigod worship. So he did not want any of these things. So we will respect, of course, Shiva as a great Vaishnava, but we will not worship Shiva, Shivalinga and all this. No, we cannot do that. Why Prabhupada all leading disciples come under the trap of Maya? Now all these questions are not part of the verse, today's verse. I would appreciate if the questions are related to the topic under discussion, because these are just going elsewhere. A lecture means a person must have a clear takeaway from this lecture, and that if any questions are there, it has to be just to enhance subject matter explain in the lecture. These kind of questions are just going everywhere. So I should not be entertaining these things too much, unless it is an AM session where, yes, that is for that purpose. And also, many of the answers you can get by reading Prabhupada's books. Even AM, it is not just for me to just rattle away, all the questions and answers to that questions. It's basically you have to read Prabhupada's books, and Krishna will give you understanding, intelligence to understand. And if there are some doubts, you can always ask to enhance your understanding of what you have read. So it is to complement your reading of Prabhupada's books, not to replace it. So many of these questions, the answers, yes, I can give. But that's why how come there are in trap of mind? You go and please follow that 15-hour thing and all the documentary on the I-77. Spend some time and watch all those material that we have put out. It is for that purpose only. Okay? So then you can understand everything nicely. But Prabhupada's standard of a class means, in fact, he chastised once one of the one devotee who was asking questions not related to the class. He was saying, no, asking question means to enhance the understanding of the subject matter under discussion, not to go away somewhere, nothing related. So on that ground, I wouldn't want to entertain this kind of questions. So I hope you understood the subject matter of today's class, how Krishna is omniscient and how he is giving us a little bit of that knowledge, a very, very small portion, by this law of karma and three modes of material nature, and the knowledge how to come out of that, so that we can make use of that and extricate ourselves from this material world. So for you, the takeaway would be to engage in Krishna consciousness so that we can come out of this, prepare for our future by acting in the present in the way Krishna advised us to do so. We can't change the past, whatever we have done, all the sins that we have done, we cannot change, but we can nullify everything by becoming Krishna conscious. Okay? Please reply. No, I'm sorry. Please try to understand. You please try to understand. I have already answered a few questions of yours, or even they were a little bit out of the subject. But you ask in the AM session, please. I request you to do that. Okay? Because how can we go against Prabhupada's instruction? I'm telling you nicely, because Prabhupada's instruction is like this. For a lecture, we must try to understand the subject. Question answer should be. Now, after the question answer session, we completely forget what the lecture was about. That defeats the purpose. See? So try to understand this and stick to that. Okay? Alright, thank you very much. Thank you all for your patience and time and being such a good audience. So we'll stop it here. Jai Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.